And I am back in more ways than one. We'll see what happens. Hi, everybody. It is Black Spring with Autumn again on your Saturday. And I want to thank you guys so much again for tuning in. I know I was on with you guys on Black Spring Mobile just a little while ago, but I am back in the studio right now. So I want to thank you so much for all your patience. So before I get started with anything, I'm going to be putting a link out as well. But I just want to say that we were talking about, desperation and what, the kind of things that I think people will unfortunately or potentially that things people would resort to in the event that, things remain the same or, as they potentially get worse. I was just saying, about the cost of things and about how the dollar has been floundering for a while. But, when it starts to flounder here at home, you feel it everywhere, especially when you have these prices that are just on a surge. And of course it impacts the middle class, working class families. And like I said, unfortunately, I think we will see the effects. We will be seeing the effects of that. So I had a couple of things I wanted to get into. Of course, I talked about Gates and him, and he's making more predictions, and they are technological predictions. We'll go with that, as well as there's a passport pronoun. Passport pronouns are something that's coming out, and I've had that information shared with me from Patrick Wood from our friends over at Citizens of Free Speech. And Patrick also writes for Epoch Times, as well as the American Thinker, I think is who he was picked up by last year. So, and of course, I'm back from the sweatbox. And I don't know, like I said, I'm telling you, it's very tiresome what's going on right now. And I did entitle the stream Shush because that's the auto silence. The auto silence algorithm, I think, is in very much full effect. So we'll see if I run into any of that here. And maybe I'll just ask on occasion if you guys could give me a 5x5, because I witnessed them do that to someone else during a live stream this morning as well. So the auto silencing on the algorithm is definitely real, and it's definitely happening, not just here on Black Spring. So I think that our time is short, and it's shorter than it's getting shorter, because they're not going to just go after you. I think just with strikes and whatnot, they are going to, they're going to slap you or whack you silence during a live stream. I think that's very real. So we'll get into that a little bit. But I want to talk about this a little bit. I want to say shout out to everyone that's in the stream or considering coming in the stream. I hope you're doing well out there. I really do. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over to, I think we're going to start with, I'm very curious about this. So I'm going to be exploring this pronoun passport with you guys because I am not familiar with it. But apparently Patrick has has started a Stand and Deliver podcast, and you'll be able to pick up the whole spiel on that. But I just want to kind of talk about, he's got this episode 5 that's dealing with pronouns versus free speech, and the topic of this week's particular podcast is going to be Bob and him discussing the new, quote, pronoun passports, end quote, being adopted into schools around the country, forcing and compelling students and teachers to use the, quote, pronouns of choice, end quote, for people who have alternate identities. Okay. According to this, students and staff who refuse to refer to people by the preferred pronouns or by words that don't exist in the English language are being punished, ostracized, and in some cases removed from their buildings. Okay. So so Citizens for Free Speech has been on it for a long time. And I've been a little bit, I have had to detach from some of these things because it's just so much. There's so many layers. There's so many layers. And I just can't be flowing on all cylinders anymore. I just can't be routed to this and this, because I just don't, the effectiveness of it. We've conceded so much. And I think we've done that in our process and what we call, I don't think that our solutions are working. Do I have the answers and solutions? No, I don't. But where are we? Where have our solutions gotten us so far? I think these midterms are going to really fix anything? No, I don't. I think it'll be, if it flips over red, it'll be a lame duck session. It'll be a lame duck situation for the left. But what are they going to actually get done? And look how much damage there is. I mean, we're talking roughly 10 years damage, changing the whole narrative. I'm going to put the link out here because I'm going to touch on this technology stuff. And I just wanted to mention this pronoun situation. I'm not sure if you guys are you guys familiar with the pronouns passport? I mean, we have 99 problems, right? But we're worried about pronouns. Yeah. Them pronouns, put them back in their cage, right? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link out. If you dare to come up and speak, I'm going to tell you guys, really, even if the time has not set, the sun hasn't set on this particular site, I might call it myself and then just let you know where to find me, like where you can find me elsewhere, because I did say I'm going to be pulling Discord. I sure am going to do it today. I'm going to pull Discord and maybe some of the other ones. Hold on one second, but I'm going to drop the link for you. So we'll take a quick little break here. I'm going to come back while I'm dropping. I'm going to drop the link, but I'm going to take a quick little break to say thanks, of course, to all of the supporters and those who've been, who've been with me for a while. I mean, I have not, tagged your actual individual anniversaries, but I want you guys to know sincerely from me that I thank you for your time here. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not into games, I'm not really into games, and I really don't want to play these games. I'm not going to start over my streams because they've censored me. I'm not willing to do that. I'm just, I'm not willing to do it. Sorry about that, but like a lot of people, they've already, for those who were monetized, their channels are still demonetized, but then they're also getting the censorship as well, the auto censorship as well. So let me give you that, and I'm going to drop the link for anybody that wants to chime in, because we're going to talk about Gates and his predictions. That's the main spiel on here, and then I'm happy to talk to you guys. So we'll see what happens. But it might be just time to invest in a different platform, and I think it's probably time. If I'm going to keep this up, we have to do it. We have to do it in a way that that works, that I can keep going, that's functional, and that it's that it's seamless and not, I can't, that's me. I'm not in control when somebody mutes me, somebody zaps me. I can't, there's hardly any way to come back from that. That's going to be of, quality and fairness and, and just, and functional for you guys. Hey, let's see who we got in the house here really quickly. I'm going to be dropping this link out here. So, Shush, the truth carries. There's like a 1980s tune. I think that I really like that tune. I'm a 80s fan. If you didn't notice that anywhere else in our time here on YouTube, but I'm not going to be going in and out of sweat boxes every week, or worried about going in a sweat box and coming out, and then they start censoring me again in real time. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not. So let me say thanks to my loyal patrons and subscribers, and say hello really quickly before I go. This is going to be really quick, and I'll be out. I'm going to drop the link, and then we're going to talk about what Gates' prediction is going to be. Hello, Luciano. Freedom's March is here. Marcy T came back. Zero the Infinite. How are you? Thank you so much for coming back. For, as I say, what is it? Is that you're holding it down? You're holding it down even when I can't. I appreciate it. I appreciate every single one of you. So let's take a quick little break, and then I'm going to tell you what Gates is working on and his friends. I don't know if these are his friends or he's probably financing these guys. I think they're probably a small business, small company, and they're probably going to blow up. So I guess we're going to kind of maybe end up a little bit on that transhumanism stuff. So we'll be right back, guys. I appreciate you. And as they say in the South, appreciate you. I'll be right back. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on Shush. It's a shush kind of Saturday, right? They want us all to shush up right now. Okay, I want to thank you guys so much. And then I have one more commercial, and I'll be right back. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right, my friends, we're back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get us going here on the Shush. Thank you so much, guys. So I have put a link out if you're interested in chiming in on anything we've discussed today, either via Black Screen Mobile, or if you want to chime in on any of these topics. Okay. Hello, Mini Ram TV from India. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Seems like it's been a long time, Mini Ram. Minin Ram. Alien Believers, how are you? Voila, I have none other than the lovely, the graceful Oracle, Marcy T. Marcy T, how are you? Thank you so much for chiming in.
You're hilarious. I can't let you be here alone.
Well, I appreciate it, Marcy T, because I was in the sweatbox, and it's like I'm not going to keep doing that. I'm not going to keep, no. We will just. I think I will just go ahead and set up somewhere else. But just FYI, I'm going to shut down that Discord. That was one of the most disappointing. And I figured I've been waiting, anticipating that these alternatives were going to, they were going to, kick it up a notch. But Discord, they let people get a little bit snug in there, and then they start their misinformation. So who's the arbiter of the misinformation? Who gets to decide what's misinformation? What is that anyway? What is that?
I guess it's you were born into it, right? You're the right think. You were born that way. Right?
Yeah. Well, I just can't unsee what I've seen,
No, me. I was just thinking that, sitting here thinking, how can we ever go back to anything after we've already seen everything and it's done. It's over in here with me and with you and with the other people that come here that think critically.
Well, it's shout out to Derek C. Williams if you're anywhere within the sound of the stream. And I just say, if you can read, you can't, that is to me, that is the start, that starts your engines.
Yep.
When you read and you're processing what you read, but I swear, Marcy T, just a side note, I'm going to get you a theme entrance before I bring you in the next time. You're getting a whole theme. Send me your best headshots, your elements, and I'll set it up for you. But I just don't know. But they have sneered at people for reading. Talked about, what is that Trevor Noah guy? He's a professional propagandist. I think they imported him for that. He sneered at people that talked about research. Just they're everywhere. But I'm just saying, we talked about, this is a continuation, everyone, from Black Screen Mobile, but we were talking about earlier. I just think like the desperation, I think, is going to get kind of bad, because when people's rent, like an apartment and rent right now are on the same, and apartment and mortgage is on the same level or greater, Marcy T, in many parts of the country. Many people that want to sell, they're stuck. They're stuck.
You're correct too with your evaluation of what's going to happen in the future. We can see it. It's not that we're smarter than anybody. We just can see. If somebody's hungry, they're going to go do something. And if they have children that are hungry, it's going to be worse.
Exactly. Precisely.
I've been crying all day long and all day yesterday because I'm just out of answers. It's like, come on.
Right. That's what I mean. And it's very, like I told you, you got a lot of people that are still
sleeping.
They're still sleeping. They're still talking about Trump. And this was somebody that I talked to yesterday. And I think if you guys watch that last stream, if they process it, if they keep it. So I'm not going to assume anything as being that they're going to hold on to anything that I do anymore, because I'm going to say what the hell I want to say is what I'm going to do. Okay. But she was saying, well, she wants to go back into her. I'm like, okay, well, go ahead and lose your shit over Trump in 2022. And he's not even in office. That's your problem, right? That's your problem, right? So she's like, well, never in history have we had anybody pissed on the office of the presidency. What the? Oh, well, you wouldn't be happy if you went back to work and your boss said, I can grab women by the pee. I'm like, are you still? What? She's
Oh,
talking about locker room talk.
wow.
I'm telling you, like, it's just, and then she goes on this whole thing about, about black people, and it's not even, I, I just couldn't with her. She just, like, you're just, go read something, okay? Stop listening to those hacks over on the View. Those hacks, those bitter hacks over that gossip rag, the View. Please stop. That is not news, people. See, that's another thing. They've got us so dumbed down that people don't have a standard or even a template or a premise for what news is.
Exactly.
They don't. They listen to these people, and if they said it, it must be true because they're a celebrity. And she's the first black person that is a celebrity allowed to be on that show. So it must be true. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of it. It's just like I don't know. If you don't, there used to be a phrase, if you don't know, ask somebody. And that was on a childlike level. That was for kids. But these adults need to do the same thing too. They're responsible for their ignorance.
You don't know what it means, go look it up. That's how I got to be how I was, because she made us read. She made us go look it up. If we wanted to know, she'd say, go look it up. So that's what I do. To this.
Yeah, but these are some people that are supposed to be educated. They're holding more degrees. They got more holes in their walls over degrees, and they can't find their head. They don't know whether to wind their
something about that right now.
Yeah, they don't know whether.
I experienced it myself. I was in grad school at U of M for a year. They did not like what was coming out of here through here. So what did they do? They got me to get out of there, is what they do. That's how they do it. So all these people with all the degrees, they're just mockingbirds, basically. They're not learning. They're just repeating what these social justice warriors, or whatever they want to call themselves, who think they got all the answers, and they don't. If you don't go along with that, you're not going to get your degree, okay?
Right. Well, you're right, Marcy, and I think your experience is very much you can attest to what happens when you disagree with them. I mean, and I
still owe them money. Do you think I'm going to pay them? I'll pay you when you give the Native Americans their money for the rent you've taken the last 250 some years here.
Well, but they really are, like, they can be pretty, these colleges can be kind of like loan sharks.
They're
because
horrible.
I have a friend right now that graduated from a college. I went to that college 1 year, and he says that he can't even there's something he needs from them, but they're telling him that he still owes them money. And they are like sharks. Well, we're going to withhold this, we can't give you a transcript. We can't give you this because you still owe us money. And how did he graduate? How did he get, and they'll withhold that. They withhold that too. But I'm just saying, this is these corporate plantations and the way people are still shipping their kids off to these places, and they all come back describing, children as clumps of cells and things like that. It's just really it's Mockingbird, as you said. I couldn't have said it better. What I want to do is, go ahead, Marcy D.
Well, what I was going to say is, if Canada didn't teach us something for what they did to those people with the banks and the law and everything else, that is the future. You have the wrong thoughts and it comes out here, you're going to be in trouble. You can't work, you can't eat, you can't live. Why? Because they said so. Who's they?
Well, you're right. You're right. Heavy-handed stuff. And you got Schwab, which I started talking about, Klaus Schwab over at We Forum. Oh. He's out there running his mouth. Like, he and Gates, none of these elites fear anybody.
Because they're the law. whatever. It's like remember how when you were a kid and you play games and whoever owned the house, it was the house rules. That's them. It's whatever they want to make up at the time to stop you and cut your legs off. That's what they're going to do. So you're acting appropriately by saying, I'm done playing these games. That's why I don't make any content hardly at all anymore, except for showing the sky atmosphere, so-called changes.
Right. Well,
Because
you see, and
I'm in fear. When
well,
you fear the government and the police, you're under tyranny.
Well, but that's where it is, Marcy. I think that this whole system, they've got everybody ready to play their lottery tickets and the one-armed bandit again.
Yep.
After everything has happened,
and they're
ready, and it's not going to. Yeah, it's their system is what everybody's banking on,
yep.
And it's not. And look where we are. Look, I mean, in a minute, I think what they're doing. This is what I think. I think that they're lifting all these mandates, and people are speaking about these mandates as if they're laws. You notice how that changed, how people don't even recognize the difference between a mandate and a law.
Mm-hmm. That's really, see how dumbed down we got.
Right. Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. I said, even for the Super Bowl and the NFL, they show you even the damn turf that they're playing on and how it's been. They explain every piece, every mode of what they're doing, but they don't explain anything about laws. They don't even tell you that the guy for Pfizer is not talking about the stats of medical information. He's showing you the goddamn the S&P and how his colleagues or how they're doing. He's not talking about the results of how anybody's done. I played that on here.
You did. I remember
from GMA, and I just said, look how stupid, how damn stupid do you have to be to realize he's not making a presentation about what he's actually talking about. He's showing you, look at the numbers, is what he's showing you.
I always have to redirect you back to when we started this. They had a picture of Kill Bates sitting there with a book sitting there, and the book said how to lie with statistics. That's total gaslighting. And what, you see that, and people like us, we go, what? And these people, oh, okay, that's the S&P, but it's the result.
They are not. Yeah, but it's taken an amount of discernment, and it's taken a while to look at all of what's being presented to you, whether you have a degree or not. I see people all the time that say, oh, like I was talking about on the what if. I'm doing a what if series is what I'm going to start. I'm trying to do that from a constructive, perspective. But
what if you read the news and heard what it really said?
What if we could come at this from an economic standpoint rather than this standpoint all the time? What if we could figure out what works best? What if we could figure out where the hell we started and where we are? What if we took a look at that and see if we see any real differences? They just look at this stuff. Look at it. I'm starting to see, it's a big loop, Marcy. Oh, the queen has come down with something. Oh, it was so terrible.
Well, so she's only 600 years old. It's about time, huh?
and these campaigns. Oh, support Ukraine. 500 campaigns are out. GoFundMe, fund me. Oh, support Ukraine. Where was the the support Afghans? Support Afghans. We're on the same loop and cycle all the time.
What is going on? Support the truckers. Peaceful. Bounce houses. No, they turned them into crooks and criminals. And then they got this.
That was their Jan 6. That was the Canadian Jan 6.
Yeah.
But souped up,
and then you turn around their fearless leader there, who's lying right out of his teeth with a straight face. And it's like, I feel helpless, and I never felt helpless before. I always knew I had confidence that I could do whatever I could do it. And that's not anymore.
Well, hang in there.
I'm not going to give up, though. I can't.
Well, no.
There's too many babies out here that need help.
You're right. Well, here's the deal. Here's another thing. I've noticed that. Does it just seem a little scammy? I just think that the culture of the paywall culture, pay per view, the freemium. I'm you guys. Congratulations, you're on Black Spring with Autumn. This is the freemium plan that you're on. You don't have to pay anything. That's my business plan, my pricing structure, the freemium subscription. You don't have to pay anything to pay per view to watch me. But then you get all these GoFundMe's. Do you not feel that's a little scammy? What is it? The Alabama pageant queen? I mean, she's under the conservative banner. But before you know it, they had GoFundMe's and all this stuff. Like fun. Like, how do you know what this person's intent was in life? That's more of a family kind of thing, right? That's more of an estate issue. Why are you guys? Why is everybody creating a GoFundMe or a support this? And what have we learned from supporting all of these campaigns?
That they can
even Black Lives Matter.
It doesn't matter. They can take it, or they can
give it to politicians.
Yeah, I think it's all a scam, and it's.
But people,
I wouldn't give any
it
more
to everybody.
Yeah, not anymore.
Let me give you some money. Oh, good
we
luck
can
with
just
your
take. We can just take your intent for that money is not going to go where it's intended. That you intended it to go. It's going to go to this politician.
Okay, well here we go. Let me just break in here just a second, Marcy T. Here's our liner for the day. All right. Our liner for today includes, dare I say, the only.
God.
Okay, so this is Bill Gates from amp.market.com. Bill Gates predicts that this technology will replace smartphones. The company Chaotic Moon is developing an innovative electronic tattoo.
No, they've already developed that like many years ago. I forgot the name. Regina Dugan. She was on at least 15 years ago with this tattoo.
Okay, well they've got
my butt.
Let me show you. Let me show you. You're Marcy says, here it is. It says a software magnate, investor, and philanthropist Bill Gates has become kind of a guru of the new realities that humanity is living. And now the co-founder of Microsoft has predicted a new type of technology that, among other things, will replace smartphones. So this thing is not just doing, it's going to keep up. I'm going to keep going. Okay. It's not the first time that Gates dares to make predictions, as he showed when he spoke about the pandemic that will attack humanity. You know, he's the guardian of the humanity. Now the author and lecturer has spoken of an electronic tattoo. So here it comes. I want to share this video with you. Here it is. What technology will replace smartphones, according to Bill Gates? All right, here he is. He says the billionaire businessman refers to the electronic tattoos developed by the company Chaotic Moon, a biotechnology-based company that aims to analyze and collect information from the human body through it. So
no, thank you.
So, but they're going to show you. I'm going to hit the button right now.
Here at Chaotic Moon Studios, we're exploring a new frontier of biowearables with a project we're calling Tech Tats.
So this is really going beyond what the fitness tracker is. Wow. And we're right now looking into the medical field specifically because there's a lot of monitoring devices that take up a lot of room and space. So rather than going to the doctor once a year to get your physical, this tech tattoo could be something that you just put on your body once a year, and it monitors everything that they would do in a physical and sends that to your doctor. And if there's an issue, they could call you. So the tech tattoos can really tie in everything into one package. So it can look at early signs of fever, your vital signs, heart rate, everything that it needs to look at to notify you that you're getting sick or your child's getting sick.
No!
So another beautiful thing that tech tattoo kind of takes over and disrupts the market is in the banking industry. We carry wallets around and they're so vulnerable. The tech tattoo, you can carry all your information on your skin, and when you want your credit card information or your ID, you can pull that up automatically through the system. So the great thing about this idea is that it not only serves a really awesome purpose, but it can also be really aesthetically fun. So tech tats are something that I'm passionate about, and our team here at Chaotic Moon is very passionate about. And we're excited for the public to see what we've been creating and to really change the industry of technology with something like the temporary tattoo. And Chaotic Moon is excited to bring it to you in the near future.
Sorry about that. So I appreciate you guys. So that was the Chaotic Moon Company that's in the context of, you know, these changes. And see, the thing about it is they're appealing. They repackage things. Okay. Whether you want to call it a chip or something, they're saying this particular thing is not underneath the skin. They're saying that in this article. It says that it's not actually underneath the skin. But how close is it? You know, how close is it to, you know, that other thing that we've been talking about, the mark?
Well, they also have the bandage, remember? And it's got a bunch of
Those
palisades, so to speak, that look like the fence.
Yeah, like I know what you're talking about. Like the one that was clear. It was
say that paint doesn't have the same technology that when you paint it or tattoo it onto your skin, that these don't just in there.
Yeah, right. Insert. So yeah,
I don't trust them as far as I can see them because they lie right to your face. That's horrifying.
Well, do you see how appealing, you know, that they kind of made it? It'll appeal to people because they think they're getting something artistic and functional at the same time.
Fun and cute, isn't it? Oh,
yeah, like henna, like a henna tat. Like some people will wear it, will get it, and people, it looks like a henna tattoo. Come on, girl, what are you talking about? This thing is cool. Where do you get yours? You know, that's.
Oh my God, this is horrifying.
You know how they tried to trendize and all, even the mocktails. Oh, I got the one with the P spelled with the PF because it sounds more chic than that Moderna brand. You know, it was real. Like, man, you guys, this is some low-hanging fruit.
Shallow thinking, low-lying fruit.
Right. And that is the epitome of, that's what they appeal to. I've seen them use celebrities to do the same thing. I saw them do it with the inauguration. Oh, girl, you better rock that purple suit you got on. Oh, Jill and Joe, you better rock that money green suit you're wearing. Come on, bring us together, Joe Biden. Come on.
Wow.
And some people, yeah, he's the one, he's gonna save us all. Yeah, look, did you see what she was wearing? That's the kind of stuff that people are looking at. You're looking at what they're wearing. And I noticed Hillary Clinton was wearing this big bib looking thing. Did you see that thing with all those tiers of, like, that's like English stuff. What was it? It was almost like, are we saluting to the crown or something? Did you notice those colors?
What color were they?
It's that eggplant purple, that color they wore. Who does that?
I hate to say this, but it's in the Bible that they'll wear purple.
Rest assured.
That's
royalty. It's known. Yeah. It's a royalty color.
What's the other? It's a deep red color. God dang,
it's like a fuchsia.
It's got a burning part now. Not fuchsia, but something like that. But it's red, and that's what it says in the Bible, that they'll be walking around with that colors, thinking they're royalty.
Well, that one has certainly been. That color has been under suspected for me.
You saw them with the tie with Trump and everything when he come in. Right after he announced the lockdown, they all started wearing purple. I saw it.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I need to go
and
back
get
on
this.
That.
Purple is a mixture of what? Blue and red.
Absolute. That's what I'm saying. That's me. To me, that says no borders to me, because our colors are red, white, and blue. You mix those together. What do you got?
And they don't realize that no borders means it's not good. It's for you.
Oh, you're footing the bill. You're paying for it.
A slave. Basically, that's why they want to mark you now. Let me show ownership, just like the cattle.
Okay, so hang on, really quick here. So, okay, I guess this was I don't know if they answered these in here, but just really quick. But here, yours truly, come into the stage. Gates wants electronic tattoos to replace smartphones. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and hear from the specimen himself. Okay.
Yo, please, I'm gonna vomit now.
Ew. Are you ready?
So creepy.
Yeah. It's like he's rubbing his hands together. I'm gonna get
God, look at that look on his face. Ew.
Okay, here we go. This is Bill Gates with a check mark, with a blue check, with 7.1 million followers.
Wow.
Here we go.
Well, 2021 was a very challenging year. The pandemic, the need to get going on climate change, all these things were tough, but I'm optimistic about accelerating innovation in the climate area. I'm optimistic about the work of global health, building on some of the pandemic innovations. I think 2022 will be the year in which many of us settle into a new normal.
No.
So I think we'll build on the good stuff. I see a lot of opportunities, and I'm excited that we will take the steps to avoid another pandemic like this one happening again. You can read my entire year in review at gatesnotes.com.
No, thank you.
Hey, he said, get those Gates notes. You will be satiated when you read that. That's all you need. Get my notes. But who's going to get his notes? These people the people from the 90s and the Microsoft, the people that kind of started out and, I'm going into IT. I'm going to be, I'm going into computers. Those are the people that still worship him. Okay. But they're not going to go get those notes. They're not going to check any of that out. They're not going to check out any of his work in Africa or his partnerships with the Indian, with India, Gavi, the MasterCard tattoo. You're right. These tattoos are not new.
Mm-mm.
They're repackaging them. Mm-hmm. And they figure if they can get the young people in, then they got you. Because why? Children are the agents of change. And that's why you hear Pelosi always talking about, the children. I'm doing it for the children.
Yeah.
I do everything for the children.
Yeah.
I'm ready again for the children.
Ooh.
But I'm not wearing a mask for the children at tomorrow night's speech. So I'm just saying, these people use children and young people to push these things out, to sway you, because they know that is the future. You remember what was it? We Are the World. I don't have that on recording right now.
I'm not going to sing it because I sing ugly.
Well, it's a true statement. The children are the future. They are, and they know that, and they know they know where the influences are and where to start.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, but that's what. And a lot of people don't even know about the TED Talks or anything else that Gates has talked about. Which says also Gates says that his idea has been in several Hollywood movies. Of course it did. What else has it been in Hollywood? They always show us, right? Where else have we not seen? Like, that guy's arm to me almost looked prosthetic when he put it out there. Like, I've seen something like that in a movie where they have been doing this stuff. What was it, like Predator? You can go back to some of these older movies where you just look at their arm and they're doing things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they've been showing us what's possible for a long time, Marcy. And we're not And we figure, oh, it's just for the movies, girl. That's just for the movies. What are you talking about? That is not real. They can't do that. But now it's all
that does that in everyone's head is, oh, it's in the movie. It can't be real. Well, yeah, it is. It's just
make it rain. Make it rain, Marcy, for the movie. Oh my gosh. So, I don't know. Even for I think somebody kind of brought this up. I don't know if you remember which one of those Super Bowls was it that Prince performed on. And I think they said, oh yeah, he told us to make it rain. Or either in his interview, he said, make it rain harder. And so I'm just thinking, people do they know do they know what's possible, or they just want to write everybody off as a CS? No, CT, a conspiracy theorist. Well, welcome to Conspiracy Theater. I'm Black Spring with Autumn, and that's Marcy T.
We're the head two CTs.
And if you're new,
get the CT from somewhere. I didn't make this stuff up. It's too crazy. Come on.
If you're a new subscriber, you just subscribe to the freemium channel, the freemium level. So there you go. But I really appreciate you guys for hanging in there. And I missed seeing you guys around. I had no idea. By the way, my ding came from 2021. They dinged me for something back in the summer of 2021. So I don't know what
they're digging in the ditches, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that they got to keep digging, because they keep going. Why stop there? Why?
I'm sick of this place.
But yes, I'm definitely going to be deleting the Discord. I posted some things. Maybe I don't know. I haven't gotten any warnings from them.
They keep sending me stuff. Did you see the new terms of services? Read them.
Okay, yeah. So that stuff, yeah.
Read them.
Yeah, they keep.
I don't read it. I delete it. Then they send me again. So I know they're somehow.
Yeah. Right. Right. So here's my other thing. Like, if you guys are interested in hearing about the pronouns passport, which I haven't heard about it, and it's coming from Patrick Wood and Bob France. It may be coming to your kids' school. So we started out earlier talking about this week's passport was pronoun versus the free speech. Okay, I'm going to share this with you guys really quickly here.
God.
So you got to have it. They're discussing the new pronoun passports being adopted in the schools around the country, forcing and compelling students and teachers to use the quote pronouns of choice, end quote, for people who have alternate identities.
No. We got to get out of here. Get kids out of school. Come on, man. That school ain't cool.
It's far from it. So yeah, so that I'll put the link out there for you guys if you want to hear that. But but Patrick is definitely, he got picked up by Epoch Times and American Thinker to write for them. So I think that's great for him. But he's been on it about free speech for a long time, and I guess I need to catch up because I had no idea about the pronouns passport. I had no idea.
Tell my son that one now, because that might motivate him to get my granddaughter out of school.
So, and then there's penalties, punitive action if you don't get the right pronouns. And
I'd be like, I'm not going to be a teacher no more. How about that?
So students and staff who refuse to refer to people by their preferred pronouns or by words that don't exist in the English language are being punished, ostracized, and in some cases removed from their building.
That's all they got in their repertoire, is to ostracize us, ad hominem names, nothing concrete. All they can do is point their finger at you and call you names. Does that sound productive?
No, I'm just going to put this link in
like
here.
Elementary school when you used to get spanked for being like that. If you were like that, they're like making the crybabies all on top.
Right. So I'm going to put this one. So here's the CFFS. I'm going to put this one. So if you want to go over there and check out any of the regular stuff, actually, I'm going to put it on the community tab, but the podcast I gave you, that's the podcast link. So if you haven't heard about it, I think I'll probably listen in a little bit myself because I had no idea And who's creating this thing? Who's creating a passport? Well, how does that work anyway?
Some creep. They've been showing commercials of all these weirdos. I mean, weirdos up there going, oh, I get to be myself. And I'm like, you're not being yourself. You're being Madonna. That ain't you. That's Lady Gaga.
There you go. Wow. Wackadoodles.
Man.
That's true. That's so true. But
it's usually a man doing it too. And it's like, come on, you ain't being
you just want to be me. I just want to be me.
You're not being you, you're being
Pat's my wig. Hey,
sorry to see you.
I just want to be me. Pat's my wig.
Right.
This is not a wig, but like if I got on a ton of makeup and mask and theater, I just want to be me.
And some outfit that looks like a Hydra because it's got 52 arms. It's crazy out right now. You can see the fashion shows even are going crazy.
I haven't seen. I mean, what is there? And they're putting more of that community on the fronts of covers.
Yeah, and it's ugly, man. It's like I don't want. I'll wear a bag before I wear what they're showing right now. Gross. Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I don't know. I don't know where it ends. I don't think
if we don't, everybody's got to stop going to work. Everybody's got to stop paying. You know what they charge every year, on April 15. We got to do something because they're going to keep pushing until we don't have a country anymore. We already don't. We've been in war over 2 years. Right?
I concur. Yeah, because where's the emergency? The emergency level of it is that's your emergency gave birth to a war, basically.
Exactly. There was an emergency for war. Exactly. I got to run downstairs right now. My roommate called.
Well, I'm going to be actually wrapping us up. Unless somebody else would like to come on, I want to thank Marcy.
Thank you, Autumn, for having me on all the time. I love you, sister.
Well, I appreciate you very much.
None of you are alone. None of us are alone. We're all sitting here thinking the same stuff, you guys. Don't ever give up, please, because it's us or nothing. So,
right. Let's see. Check your message here, just a second here. But yeah, I'm going to thank Marcy T.
Love you guys.
Anything about check your message here, just a second. I have a little question there. But I want to thank you again for coming on, Marcy T. And I appreciate you so much for all of your knowledge and your candor every single time. I really appreciate you.
Oh no.
So yeah, I really appreciate you.
Autumn. I'm gonna research because my sister did. Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate you so much. So thank you again.
I'll talk to you soon. Love you guys.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Marcy T. Have a great Saturday. All right, guys, and thanks so much for coming into this segment of the Shush. All right, guys, I really appreciate it once again. And so, yeah, the link is still out there, but we have pretty much taken care of the bulk of, we've taken care of the bulk of the stream. And of course, we kind of dovetailed, for the lack of a better word, from Black Spring Mobile earlier, where we kind of talked about some of the effects of, the inflation, and then me getting out of the sweat box. And like, I will be deleting the Discord. It's just so sad, and same to Marcy T. I have received all of their, I've received their, hey, look at our terms of service. We had changes in the terms of service. Hey, look, we're going to be smacking you down for misinformation, disinformation. So I've gotten all that business too. And and I'm just not going to play the game. I'm done. I'm fresh out of, I'm not doing any more covert language, or I'm not expanding myself to any more of these alternatives platforms. But I don't know. And so maybe somebody flagged me on this channel. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Things are not always as they seem. Okay. And that's another reality that we have to face in these times. People could, this thing is open to anybody to just come by and say, hey, I don't like what she's saying, so I'm going to go and report her. Or I'm not saying you guys are doing that, but I'm saying, like, it could be somebody that just stuck their head in. I've had my stripes to take down bots in here before, and who knows who, but it starts a little circle and a little trail, and then they just kind of keep, they start backtracking, and they can do that if they want. But I think there's going to be an alternative, and it's going to be one of my own choosing and one of my own features. So we can avoid, this kind of, craziness. The crazy makers, we can't control them, but I can choose what medium that I use in order to go forward. So I want to do one little commercial. And as always, I do thank you guys for coming in. And we're going to take a quick little commercial, and we'll be right back. And that link is still there if you're curious. All right. So thank you guys so much again. And I want to say hello to everybody in the stream. And I want to thank Marcy T once again for coming in, and thank all of you who joined me on the Black Screen Mobile before we started this. Luciano, thank you so much. And he said earlier, CNN pulls out of Russia after Putin signs misinformation law. How ironic. Very interesting, Luciano. I appreciate that. That's very good. That's very intriguing. It is. Zero the Infinite. And so I put that link in for you guys that are interested on the passport. Check out CFSS, CFFS. So check them out without a doubt. And I'll post some of that on the community tab for you. Freedom's March was here. I hope you're doing well out there. Thank you so much for coming in. And let's see, Minanram TV, thank you for joining us from India today. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well there. And Alien Believers, thank you so much for coming in. And yeah, and Steve Willis, thank you so much. Let me put that in here. He says Trump is in on the plan. If he comes back, it'll be the plan. I tell you, everything is so loaded right now. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. And I don't know who's who anymore. And I think that's a part of the demoralization. I think demoralization has been also, what was it? Yuri Bezmenov. I think he talked about that. I think what is it when you can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not, it's or fact, or, you can't discern, yeah, that part. And let's see, who else do we have? Two Hats says, thank you so much, Two Hats, for coming in. Says, when tyranny becomes law, revolution becomes duty. All right. We'll see if this stream survives, guys, because the last one, they did their auto silencing the algorithm, and they might do that on this one. So it's going to be important that if for when I do come on here, I'm going to try to be as informative as I can, yet casual as I can. But if you really want to make sure you're getting it, you need to make sure you come in. I don't really have a schedule. But I think Saturdays are pretty much going to be consistent when I can. I've been pretty consistent with that, dropping in on Saturdays. I think even since maybe around October. So Saturdays are going to be probably Saturday mornings are probably going to be where you can find me. I will be pivoting around Saturdays and maybe even some Sundays, if not Saturday or Sunday. I don't know if I do, maybe not do a Sunday unless I have a guest. Yeah, that's the only way I think I will do back to back, but Discord is going away. I'm not sure about Twitch. But I'm definitely going to pull back some of these other ones. And then I will reveal to you what the new medium of platform will be for Black Spring and how you can support or show up, pull up, as they say, how you can pull up to Black Spring on another medium. I'll show you how you can do that. And Risen Ability was here. Risen Ability, you made a statement earlier and I was not quite... wasn't quite there. So let me find it. Let's see. I'm not quite sure I was there, but I really appreciate you guys so much. Let me go back just a little bit. Alien Believers, before I do, says, yes, dear, don't play the plan. If you must part with the enemy, vote them out, all of them. Okay, let me see. You made an apology, Risen Ability is what I was looking for, I think, and I wasn't. Let's see, what'd you say? Oh, I didn't mean to hide your messages. Yeah, sometimes it happens, those things happen. So if you do something like that, correct it, whenever you can, as soon as you can. And if you make a mistake, let me know and I'll try to do what I can do to help with something like that. Because sometimes we just, you're touching a whole bunch of things, or you make a mistake and touch some things, and then, somebody gets blocked or, or timed out or something like that. But I appreciate you guys are great at what you do. And you've served this platform well. And yeah, so I appreciate it. I have a new comment here. Marcy says, dive turkeys. Without a doubt. So I appreciate it. And yeah, we went over a couple of things. We went over we talked about the pronoun, the passport pronouns. I have not found the pronoun passports. I have not found that for the schools yet, but we'll see. If it's not CRT, you got the pronoun passports. So actually, well, wait, hang on. Just before I speak too soon, is if you go to missionamerica.com, pronoun passports are coming. Okay, so this is, I don't know how close they are, but I definitely have found something. And this is coming out of the Christian commentary on the culture. So it looks like the Midwest. Those who cooperate with the pronoun tyranny are affirming. Okay, so this is actually kind of good. Before I bail out of here, let me just get this really quickly. Okay, I want to thank you guys so much again, as always. And I said we're out of here, but then I stumbled on to something else to just for a little bit of reinforcement here. And shout out to Patrick over for Citizens for Free Speech. I mean, Patrick is an actual, I think he was credible, of course, before he got picked up by Epoch Times and the American Thinker, but he was on our show about 2 years ago talking about the First Amendment and, just kind of giving you the skeleton and just breaking things down and all the things that they don't quite do in civics. Do they even teach civics anymore? So let's blow this in here really quickly. All right. Try not to make it too painful because we're out after this. Okay. missionamerica.com. Now, I don't know when this was printed, but I don't see. However, let me get into this. This is with Linda Harvey. Insanity over pronouns has hit the Midwest. Children and teachers are being pressured to declare their pronouns, and parents are livid. In the Olentangy School District near Columbus, a middle school language teacher required all students to stand up and declare his or her pronouns. A high school teacher in the same district told the class to let her know if she should change a student's pronoun. When contacting his or her pronouns, a high school teacher. Hang on a second. A high school teacher in the same district told the class to let her know if she should change a student's pronoun. Yeah, when contacting his or her pronouns, a high school teacher. Hang on a second. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Almost done here. A high school teacher in the same district told her class to let her know if she should change a student's pronoun when contacting parents. In the Dublin, Ohio city schools, a class of elementary students was asked to change asked to name their individual pronouns. At Hilliard Davidson High School, a Columbus suburb, teachers are called to the principal's office and forced to apologize to a student if an unwanted pronoun is used. At the same school, an assistant principal now signs his correspondence with, quote, he/him, end quote, following his name. How long before children are called to the principal's office for being unwilling to state their pronouns? Or will all of our children go along with this? They will, unless their parents spell it out for them. TYRANNY is what's going on here. The, quote, LGBTQ, end quote, folks are serious about obliterating, quote, heteronormativity, end quote, and your children are their change agents. What are we talking? Did I just say something about children being the agents of change? Did I not say that? I think I did. But that was declared by the UN in their agenda. Okay. Hi, Positively Penny. I really appreciate it for you coming in. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to finish up this little ditty on this article, and then we're going to get out of here officially. Okay. So we're almost there. Okay. Of course, pronoun. Let's see. Is it any wonder 3% of Ohio public school students have been removed in the past 2 years? 53,000 students. And Christian and Catholic schools are bursting at the seams. Of course, pronoun insanity is already law in New York City, where, quote, malicious, end quote, pronoun misuse by an employer or landlord can result in high fines. But most of the country is still in touch with reality, or so we thought, and little kids were, until recently, still spared from the, quote, LGBTQ, end quote, bizarro fantasy world. What I'm wondering is how long before this is a required identifier after a child's name in not just a few, but most public schools. While we were frustrated about masks, special interest activists have been hard at work securing lavish Biden administration American Rescue Plan funding for, quote, safe reopening, end quote, i.e. making sure all radical agendas are set in stone. See, that's beautifully said. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're reopening. Everything has been under an agenda, like even hidden. Who knows? Did anybody look at that rescue plan to see if any of that was included? It says in Ohio, $6.5 billion has been distributed for federal resources. Money, money, money. So these bills and these things that they pass, they have so much stuff, hidden stuff in them. By the time you find out, look what's happening to you, what's happening to your kids. Okay. So according to this, now a flood of recent, quote, diversity, equity, and inclusion, end quote, staff positions have been filled to enforce uniformity, partiality, and inclusion and exclusion. And a slew of counselors and social workers have been hired for, quote, social emotional learning, end quote, initiatives. So radical teachers are empowered and loaded for bear. So that you see what I mean? It's like everything they say is opposite. If they say it's an inclusion, it's actually going to be exclusion. Equity, no, it's actually, you're creating a deficit amongst the individuals that are involved. You, conservative Christian parent, are the bear. Don't mess with us while we tutor your child and his teacher in the ever-expanding perversion lexicon of invented human categories like, quote, non-binary, gender fluid, gender queer, two-spirit, end quote, to replace, quote, male, end quote, and, quote, female, end quote, which are said to be, quote, sex assigned at birth, end quote. Reality is just too threatening, apparently. Here's what one Ohio mom wrote to me, quote, my son was surveyed by computer as to how he identified sexually by asking him to provide his preferred pronoun, end quote. These parents were not notified in advance that their 12-year-old would be asked this question. Unless outspoken parents can roll this back, pronouns will be a new form of passport affirming that a child is, quote, ready to learn, end quote, aka ready to be indoctrinated. Yet who among our bravest will stand up and say, quote, I refuse, end quote. But it really has to be done by brave young warriors as many schools as possible. This is not just a manipulative way of compel acceptance of gender deviance, but it's also an assault on our common language. One presenter at a recent teacher training workshop in Hilliard School, an open advocate of homosexuality and gender deviance, mused that some activists globally are pushing to change languages that have embedded gender cases, for instance, French. And to her, this is a good thing. Many French speakers are rebelling against linguistic activism because it unnecessarily complicates the language, as an article in Forbes explains, quote, France does not have a pronoun for, quote, they. In the third person, plural, people must choose between, right, the masculine il or elle, right? You don't, I mean, I won't talk about the French language right now. I can, but I won't get into it because they think it's the patriarchy. It's a patriotic assault on people because of the masculine. Because if one person shows up in a group, let me give you an example. If there are 5 people in a room and 4 of them happen to be women, it takes one man out of the 5 to make you identify that group as you have to use the pronoun ILS. So that's what they're on about. It's an activist dream to have all these issues with language. Okay. They want to destroy everything. Okay. So the French language is bad. It's ruling with the patriarchy, and I'm sure they got a bunch of dissertations on it. Okay, according to that, praise God. And even though radicals are pushing for, quote, a non-binary, in quote, French pronoun like IEL or EUL, it hasn't happened yet, not even in Canada, unless progressive dictator Justin Trudeau will force this on his country too. Yeah, he might. If Schwab says it's a good idea, he'll do it. In the US, activists persuaded Merriam-Webster to adopt, quote, they, end quote, as a singular pronoun. And the dictionary publisher declared it, quote, word of the year, end quote, in 2019, sigh. But do children have to be forced to use such nonsense? Clear language reflects clear thinking. Back to Ohio, teachers in Parma schools, Hilliard schools, and Marymount schools have been tutored in pronoun nonsense with valuable professional development time spent on the nuances of using mythological pronouns such as, ze, zir, and so on. Marymount presenter, who appears to be a female, goes by the pronouns, quote, they/them, end quote. In Hilliard, teachers were instructed to engage in an exercise where they introduced themselves to one another, adding their pronouns after their names. Many cooperatively went along with this lunacy. Those who cooperate with pronoun tyranny are affirming the following. 1, the gender change is possible and is a worthwhile behavior even for a developing child. Number 2, that you, quote, respect the idea of gender change. Number 3, that you are okay with fudging the science of male/female biology for the greater good of an invented, quote, non-binary, end quote, standard. Number 4, finally, the religious objections do not need to be respected and should be scorned or ignored. Be sure if this is okay with you. If it is, may God open your eyes and soften your heart. If it's not, then get ready to stand on your convictions and show our children how they can do the same. All right, guys. So that's, kind of heavy, but look out for these pronoun passports, okay? Look out for the pronoun passports. Now, that's my PSA, and that's going to be where I'm going to bring us to a close. Finally, I'm really going to do it this time. Thank you guys again. And one last comment from Two Hats says the genuine problem is normal people are terrified of conflict. Too many cowards unwilling to call a spade a spade. Thank you for that. And with that, we're going to be saying so long. And I'll let you guys know if something comes up, maybe tomorrow. I don't know, but I need to work on some things. But I will be announcing another medium for this particular channel because I think this channel is going to end up going away. And it's going to be going away by my own volition. It's not going to be when they decide to cut me off or and I'll probably create another channel, which will not be dealing with this stuff at all. But this particular channel would be parlayed into another medium. and where people will have another opportunity to engage, even calling in and that kind of thing. We've talked about it before, but I want to do some work and some research on it. So thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in. I've said hello to everybody that got in on this one, and I really appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your Saturday. See you guys around.